I've played hundreds of games over the years, massive open worlds, games with bigger budget than Hollywood movies, games that took 6, 7 or even 8 years to make. And somehow it took an indie joke game about dinosaurs carrying swords to make me realize what so many games have been getting wrong. Not because Dinoblade is perfect, it isn't, in fact it has a lot of problems, but after finishing it, something finally clicked. And once you notice it, you start seeing the exact same mistake everywhere. By the end of this video, I'll show you one design philosophy that makes Dinoblade so rememberable, and why many of biggest studios in the world keep missing it. Here's the entire idea behind Dinoblade. You're Spino, you got a sword in your mouth, and you're fighting other dinosaurs. Done. Within 5 seconds, you understand the game. It's a joke. It's ridiculous, but rememberable. It immediately makes you want to see more. AAA games often spend years building and justifying every mechanic, lore, realism, cinematic storytelling, and then trying to find the fun factor. Often that fun isn't enough. But there you go, you spend more than $100 million on your game and can't change the core anymore. Dinoblade takes the opposite approach. It asks, will this be fun? Will this be awesome? Everything else follows and has lower priority. Surprisingly, that simple approach often creates something memorable. The game isn't trying to be everyone's cup of tea. No unnecessary crafting system, no skill tree padding. Every system points at one thing: fight giant dinosaurs and feel powerful doing it. Dinoblade has basic Soulslike combat, and they've put as many cool animations as they can. And man, this is the coolest Soulslike I've ever played. Just the core idea itself makes me smile. Fighting dinos with a great sword, pulling off sick moves while blasting a banger metal soundtrack. This is a hell yeah the game, man. And the final boss of first area is a T-Rex sweeping an ankylosaurus like a club. Oh, I love it. I jumped into this game thinking it would be one of those rough, broken titles that are just a funny joke. While that's half true, I have to give it to the solo dev. This level of quality is impressive, even though it isn't perfect and has a lot of problems. More on that later. The animations are sick. My favorite attack is that Virgil move. Every swing has anticipation, weight, and solid follow through. Your brain believes the hit even if the production level really shows itself, and gameplay isn't that smooth. Players forgive rough graphics, but they almost never forgive movement that feels weightless. That's exactly what many big budget games still get wrong. Here's the thing that makes the story behind Dinoblade so interesting. The person behind it isn't someone who doesn't understand AAA development. Gene Wayne, if I'm not mistaken, is a senior gameplay animator at Sucker Punch, the studio behind Ghost series. He wanted to create an animation for his portfolio, so he did something that sounds silly. He gave a Spinosaurus a giant sword just because it was cool. Then people saw it and started asking, "Where's the game?" And eventually he actually made a video game out of it. Without a large team, he taught himself Unreal Engine tools through tutorials and built the project alone, beginning development in 2023. Whereas AAA teams requires approval from multiple management levels, he could basically do whatever he wants. Freedom and risk tolerance are the key points here. I mean, let's be honest. What AAA studio will greenlight such an idea? They're after realistic, low-risk ways to make money. Many AAA studios forgot that a game has to be played well first. The moment-to-moment gameplay is what actually matters. When games chase realistic and market-tested ideas, they usually end up being forgettable. In a AAA pitch meeting, someone always says, "Is this believable?" In an indie dev's head, the only question is this cool? Those are two completely different design philosophies, and only one of them produces a Dinosaur game. I'm not saying AAA games can't generate crazy ideas, but how often does that happen? Dinoblade wasn't made because someone didn't know how games are made. It was made because someone knew exactly how games should be made. With all that said, being made by one dude has some other meanings too. Dinoblade has some jank. Frame drops, inconsistent hitboxes, missing sound effects, some rough animations, especially in end boss encounters. The end bosses. The end bosses are the weakest part. The game's end battles are terrible. Movement readability is confusing. All the bosses are fair and simple to read. They are difficult but fair, except for the final bosses. The game can help but make final battles chaotic, but that works exactly against it, because that much action needs a lot better animations and polish level. On top of that, combat problems that were bearable before are really on the nose here. Basically, all the parts worked against me. The inconsistent parry timing and questionable iframes left a sour taste in my mouth. It makes me even more angrier thinking about the whole game being a total joy, a hell yes simulator. It was cool and genuinely fun, but the final bosses just fucked it up. It doesn't matter. I wanted to praise Dinoblade for its difficulty curve. For most of the run, it was fair, readable, challenging, and rewarding. Then near the end, it flipped the switch and goes from enjoyable straight to Despite that, I still recommend Dinoblade. Yeah, it's a bit of a jank. I could use a few patches, but beneath the rough edges, there's a genuinely fun game with a strong identity. Even in its current state, I'd happily tell Soulslike fans and anyone who loves fast-paced action to give it a shot. For a solo project, it's highly impressive. You know what? There ain't enough good dino games out there. Why can't we have more of these games? I don't want this video to be a dunk on AAA games. Instead, I wanted to highlight some misunderstanding that these games make. Actually, I put together a video talking about these issues. With crazy back-to-back game schedule we're seeing, a lot of titles get buried under the big hits. Dinoblade is not memorable because it's perfect. It's memorable because nobody convinced it to stop being weird and unapologetically fun. Alright, thanks guys for watching till the end. If you're into these kinds of videos talking about games, the gaming industry and new releases, please like and subscribe. More videos are coming and your feedback means a lot to me and helps the channel grow. Love you all. See you around.